Welcome back to the LCS Lounge before the Team Liquid versus Dignitas game. And let me tell you, there was a lot of math and a lot of different things that can happen for playoffs. So I just picked what could realistically happen if TL wants to make it. One of the most important things that TL can do is win. So if they win against Dignitas, against CLG, and against EG, which, after what we've seen today, is not the most improbable path, that would make them 9-9, okay? So all that matters now is, can they get, of the four-way tie between, not four-way tie, but the four-way competition between TL, 100 Thieves, TSM, and COG, can two of those teams not get to 9? So let's say 100 Thieves is hot, EG is cold. This is the somewhat realistic scenario. Let's say that 100 Thieves ends up beating EG. Let's say that TSM even beats Dig, so it's not that far out of the realm of possibility, but then C9 takes care of business against COG, gets the #1 seed, FlyQuest takes down TSM, and it doesn't actually matter what 100 Thieves does, so you can just say they win. In this situation, TL gets to 9, TSM only gets to 8, COG only stays at 8, and TL would actually make it into the playoffs. So of the pivotal matchups that will happen across Thursday and Friday, that is a scenario where TL can actually make it in. So not completely out of the playoffs, even though they're sitting at 6-9. How do you feel about that one? Eh?
I feel good, yeah. It's nice having hope. It seems easy enough.
Yeah, but I also say that it has been difficult, aside from that, to say very positive things about Team Liquid, because we always talk about how they have no coordination, their team fighting has been poor, you can go through Reddit threads, it's very negative. So because we have you here, and you're a notoriously positive person, we've created a positivity zone where you can hopefully just make it a nicer time. So let's head over to the positivity portal.
Sounds good.
Tell us,
exciting.
Tell us some nice things about Team Liquid.
I think there's a lot of great things to say about CL, to be honest. Like, first of all, it's a promising project that Steve has gone for here. We have a good
It only works if you're sitting.
You have to sit on it.
I have to sit on it.
You have to sit on
That's
the
how positivity works.
Okay, great. Now I can focus. I think it's a great project. Steve and Dodo have built here. We have a good mix of proven veterans with strong rookies. And honestly, it's no shame to have a slow start. I think every single year that I played for Fnatic, we were struggling at the beginning. It's normal. It takes time to build synergy. Basically, in other words, Team Liquid is scaling. They're playing the long con. Now, we've had good moments, and we've had not so good ones. But in the good games, TL has been on point. And once the team synergy starts coming in, more and more good moments are going to come to the point where they're just going to start steamrolling people. And now, keep in mind, a wise man once said, Spring Split doesn't matter. That man is wise because the next split in summer 2020, he went on to win. He became a champion. So it's been proven that even if you struggle in spring, there's still hope in the future.
That was good.
That's how it's done.
Oh!
Give it a go.
Wow. Yeah, I'll
I feel
try.
inspired.
A positive person and a positivity portal,
Yeah.
that's an overload.
Okay, you did Team Liquid, so I guess that leaves me with Dignitas.
Okay, give it to me.
Some teams want to make playoffs, but other teams just want to have big plays. And I'd say Dignitas has had a number of big plays. Like the time that Jensen shuffled FBI into his team and Dignitas was able to move that to victory. That was a really big moment. There was also that time Jensen landed an amazing shuffle onto Inspired, knocked him into the team. And you know what? There was also that time that Jensen forced a stopwatch and shuffled 4 members of EG into his team for a decisive victory. So some teams, you know, if you're picking between 2 options, do you want the best play that people are going to remember? Or do you want to win some Spring Split games? Pretty even. Honestly, good split. Good job.
Positive?
Yeah,
You feel positive?
It's hard to say who's really the winner, you know?
I think it's a team that has the most fun.
That was how we were raised in
Had
Minnesota.
the most good shuffles by a player named Jensen.
By a player named
And
Jensen.
by that
I counted
metric,
3. I counted
Dignitas
3 replays.
Dignitas is far ahead of the competition.
Yeah, I don't know. That was definitely a fun split from them. They are out of the playoff conversation as well, but it is important to frame Team Liquid are not. This is a big game for them if they want to keep that playoff hope alive.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost a must-win. There are some scenarios where we can get through in tiebreakers and whatnot, but you know, in that scenario that Jat outlined earlier where they could get to 99, obviously they would have to win out and have some other teams losing. Everything is not in their control anymore.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to hope some of your opponents around you in the standings are taking some L's and you are having a really good week. Something a bit positive, though, you have to say, is that I think they have looked a little bit more competitive over the last 2 weeks. It feels like they're moving a little bit in that right direction. They did take down FlyQuest last week, which is maybe becoming a little bit less impressive because a lot of people are doing that now. But their loss to
It's no thing.
yeah, I mean, I think there's overall, it feels like they're finally getting into a bit of a groove.
Yeah, but I think more so than many other teams in this kind of place in the split, we can actually say it's about development. They got 2 rookies on this roster, and they need to get caught up in the league, playing in Academy, winning Proving Grounds back-to-back, having Yeon in the top 5 most valuable prospect conversation last summer. That's all great, but LCS is a different beast. Now they've graduated, now they're in the big leagues, and now we need to see how better they end than they started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they do have a lot of positives. Their early game has been strong throughout the entire split, right? This is a team that I think, especially in the 2v2, Core and Yeon have been really, really good. Summit is the best laning 1v1 top laner in the league. That has not changed. They do obviously have their weaknesses as well, and that is really kind of what they have to focus on finding a consistent way to win, because this has been a team that can consistently create advantages, but they don't always result in that victory. You know, there have been positioning errors, I think, from the rookie carries that have really punished them. Summit, you know, is kind of infamous for some of his issues with getting too aggressive and kind of taking that lane advantage and trying to snowball it in a way that is not really safe.
And another thing I noticed about Team Liquid as they lock in the Sejuani first is that they have a lot of one-pick wonders where they've locked in a champion one time in the split and then don't pick it up again later. They have 17 champions with a 100% win rate played once and 10 champions with a 0% win rate played once. That's 27 champions, one and done. They're experimenting still throughout. Yeah, see, like I did that. They're experimenting throughout the split. They're trying out different things. In this Super Week, this is where it's about what works. Lock that in as Dignitas go for the Varus and the Lee Sin.
I think the problem, though, for TL is they don't know what works, right? Because they're still experimenting, right? They're trying all these different picks. But when you look at the picks that they have gone to consistently, 4 plays on Azir, 0% win rate. 4 plays on Nami, 0% win rate. You know, 5 plays on the Gnar, 1 win. 5 plays on Lucian, 1 win. Those are the most played champions,
They
right?
played a lot of Lucian Nami.
Yeah, and they lost every single game. They played a Lucian Nami. They actually won 1 game of Lucian Sona. So they are moving more towards a later game style here. They have the Rakan, they have the Xayah. Core on Engage generally spells good things for TL, I think. You know, he has been that reliable force for this team for years. And the team is just a different beast when he is playing that Engage, because he can be a louder voice in the cons. He can dictate when and where they're going to fight. And he has more agency to kind of control the flow of the game.
Exactly. And we talk back in the Challengers League, in the Developmental League, we call this easy mode for the bot lane. You can be aggressive, you can be defensive, you can leave your carry alone if you need to roam around. You get a lot of options, but the Heimerdinger is locked in for Dignitas.
Yeah, we haven't seen Heimer support. I don't know if we've seen it at all this split. We were seeing it like a lot at Worlds, obviously.
We saw it a lot in Challengers, but in LCS, it's not been as popular.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually seen it in LCS at all, unless I'm misremembering. But we can get that confirmed. It is going to be Heimer plus Varus bot lane, almost guaranteed. Yeah, sure. Theoretically, it could be mid or top, but let's be honest, it's not going to be.
And it's IgNar on Heimerdinger, too. It's like, IgNar's the guy I think it was like, oh, this is a Thresh player, this is a Leona player. Heimerdinger. Okay. Perfect, sure.
I mean, I think in the 2v2, they could do really, really well. Of course, you have to be careful about gank assist. You know, there is going to be that fear when Pyosik gets down towards the bot lane, because there is that potential to have the engage coming through from core. But the ability to push here, the ability to poke with both rockets as well as the Q and E from the Varus is going to be really difficult, I think, for the Xayah to deal with.
And I played, I don't know if you know this, Azael, at the end of season grind, when I was grinding back up, I played a lot of Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
Good counter to the Rakan. He battle dances in, or grand entrance is in. You just drop the grenade wherever he's going. If you're fast enough with the reaction time, you can stun him before the knockup. but it was nerfed. The W rockets have less damage in lane, more scaling, and also the turrets have less health. That's a crucial one because you can actually just like 2-tap those turrets in the bushes now, so harder to control those. As we catch up on the bans, LeBlanc, Renekton taken off the table from Team Liquid's side. Dignitas taking away some of Summit's champ pool with the Gnar and the Jace.
K'Sante going to be the blind here for Armut. We'll see what the answer is for Summit. I mean, Gnar and Jace, it feels like anytime you're blinding against Summit, you basically just have to ban these champions. Almost universally, top laners will agree. He is the best 1v1 player, best laning player in the top lane. He is so difficult to deal with. And you cannot allow him to play those comfort picks. Kennen would be interesting. Did get some slight buffs on 13.5.
Yeah.
And we have not been seeing a lot of it at all, but it is not going to be the Kennen. It is going to be jungle pick locked in here, so some more time to think for Summit. Going to be curious to see where he wants to go. They already have a lot of engage. It is...
So the Wukong probably jungle
Sejuani
Summit
top?
onto Sejuani. I've seen this creeping back into the meta too. So you're playing the tank into the K'Sante. Sejuani still functions well in this matchup as a tank top laner. So this means that, I mean, Haeri will self the blind pick. That was going to happen regardless. So I'm curious what that will be. Ahri.
There is some Wukong top that you've seen solo.
Oh, let's go.
So we don't quite know where everything is. It is assuming it's going to be the Akali mid, assuming it's going to be the Sejuani top and the Wukong jungle, but we'll see exactly where they do end up swapping things around to, because there are some options here.
I love Haeri on the melee champions. Akali, I think his Akali last week was pretty good. He had a couple of team fights that got a little messy, but in general, I'm hyped about this guy on champs like this. I think that this is going back towards a conversation of what works, but you're blind picking it, and now you're countered by the Taliyah.
Yeah, the Taliyah, I think, is just such a good answer into this draft. 4 champs with dashes, right? And that is very difficult to deal with the agents having a laugh there on screen.
He's like, all right, can I seismic shove 5 of them? Maybe we can get one more highlight play up there.
And if they could have got a Poppy in there too, then that would be the true nightmare for dash champs.
That'd be rude at that point. But also the Heimerdinger. I mean, you're going into the Heimer turrets too. They're going to be slowing you with the Rylai's. This is going to be nightmare fuel for Team Liquid, but they do have a lot of engage. If they find anybody with the Glacial Prison, with the Cyclone, with the Charm coming in from CoreJJ, they can blow them up pretty quickly if Haeri's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a bit of an interesting look here, you know, for TL. Sejuani top, not something we've seen a lot of. Sure, you can farm it out in tank matchups, but I am expecting this to be fairly K'Sante favored. And it's just not really that kind of Summit-style champion that you're used to. He does play tanks occasionally, but doesn't usually look as comfortable. This will give him some ability to kind of be a little bit more proactive, and the potential of ganking towards top lane with the Wukong Sejuani combo is still there.
Yep.
So maybe they want to put a little bit of pressure up there, but it does feel largely like this is a game heavily around bot lane, because you cannot leave this Rakan, I think, in an isolated 2v2 against this Varus Heimer, which is probably going to be a nightmare lane for them. So Pyosik is going to have to be down there trying to cover, and that's going to mean it's likely just a tank versus tank island in top lane.
And you got to remember, this is Tomo coming in for Dignitas late in the season. He had a strong showing in his debut games. Now gets to have a solid lane matchup as well. I'm excited for this player. I think he's got a lot of potential going forward, especially when you sub into a rough position. Last place team. And you're coming in this late into the season, but he's given the keys to success. Can Dignitas follow in Immortal's footsteps and play upset here today?
I think one of the really impressive things about Tomo is, like you said, he's coming into a really difficult spot, but he hasn't really kind of lost his aggressive nature. He's been looking for confident plays. So even in games where he's fallen behind, he's still looking for winning plays. He's not just sitting back, clearing waves, and kind of waiting to lose, which can be very easy to do when you're on a team that is taking a lot of L's. You can see Dig went 5-man bot, trying to play towards that side brush control. It is so important in these double ranged lanes when you're playing on bot side. They get the turrets down early. This is going to help to guarantee them the push, and also denies brush control from core, which makes it so much more difficult to actually play a melee champion in these matchups.
And he plays the ward in that location because it won't hit the minions when they walk in. You're not going to just force it into the enemy lane right away. He didn't go for the cheesy back. You can actually on Heimerdinger go for an early back and pick up the sweeper lens because you don't really need wards too much. You have the turrets that can basically function as that, but we'll be starting with the general trinket, and Team Liquid start up the red buff. Dignitas are prioritizing this lane control.
Yeah, Lee Sin going to be spotted. You know, they do have that ward over a Raptor, so they are going to know where Santorin is starting. That's going to be pretty well known. Also pretty clear where TL is starting here on bot side with Core and Yeon showing up late. Nice little sidestep, though, from Yeon on that first Q. And they're able to knock down 2 of those turrets pretty much immediately. So
Yeah,
We'll see how well they can get the push.
This is the nerf. Back Worlds meta, that would have taken 3 autos to kill that turret. Now it takes 2. That's a big difference. As, boom, there it's down again. So IgNar not able to control that brush, but they have still some poke. Yeon doesn't dodge that one.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning that it's Comet Varus, so it's going to be lethality. It's not going to be on-hit Varus. You know, definitely was expecting it to be Comet, you know, when they are pairing it with that Heimer, but worth at least checking in on. Because they are going to be relatively low, I think, on consistent damage. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Jensen to be that consistent DPS on the Taliyah.
In a way, Team Liquid, I think, have a similar argument, too. They don't have a ton of damage, as we see all the lanes here on the screen. Haeri and Yeon are really the key sources. The rookie players will need to provide that DPS in these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to how you're positioning, how you're executing in these fights. Because if they're engaging into Dig and Dig is able to keep their carries safe and tight back, it can become really, really tough to actually get onto Taliyah and finish her off. And if you're trying to fight into these corridors, you're walking through towers, you're walking through that Taliyah E, it's going to be a nightmare for TL. But by the same token, if it's an open field and TL are able to come from multiple angles, things are going to get really, really difficult, I think, for Dig.
And Dig need to be keeping track of that. Make sure that they have their flanks covered. Again, easier to say that with the Heimerdinger support because you just kind of passively do that often. But interesting to see that Jensen was getting the better of Haeri in the mid lane trades. And oh wait, this isn't 14 minutes. We don't have to look at this yet. Okay, thank you, observers, for getting us out of there. Well, we'll check back in about 11 minutes 30.
It's Summit. Maybe he's going to get something done early. We'll
10 minutes 30. I did quick math on stream.
Yeah, never do math on broadcast.
Never do it. Now I look like a fool as Pyosik goes in for an invade. There's nothing to steal here, though. So just drops a ward.
Yeah, gonna get that ward down, you know, for the Raptors respawn. That is coming up, and Jensen maybe gonna be forced to flash. We'll see.
He's got backup here. Oh, Haeri. They have the ward in the brush. They knew Santorin was there, so doesn't want to go for the flash Q to maybe get the kill.
And they can't actually even push it out because Jensen is too low because he dies to a flashy Q from Pyosik or really any sort of combo of damage. So gonna be a little bit awkward, and Jensen is playing double combat sums. He has no TP, so we'll see how fast can the Akali actually get the wave in. Is actually more important than this potential Raptor steal. So he's gonna lose both melees. He's gonna lose the cannon because it's already low, which is gonna mean the wave is gonna bounce and gonna be really, really bad for Jensen. He's gonna be pretty far down off of this. Plus they're losing Raptors.
Like that from Haeri, even walks up and blocks the Sonic Wave from Lee Sin, so you can't try and get the big Raptor away. And Pyosik is still tracking Santorin. Sees the Krugs isn't up, but now they have that ward up there, so they see the spawn, and Pyosik is still here.
Yeah, it's going to be annoying. He doesn't have Smite. Santorin doesn't necessarily know this, but down on bot side.
CoreJJ engages. That's an early heal coming out from Tomo with Ignite from IgNar. They want to trade back on a Yeon. Good damage.
Yeah, it is the 2 summoners for 0, though, so Dig spending... Oh, actually, the flash was used as well. Must have been in an earlier play. You can see that's about a quarter on cooldown, so that was off-screen. That was forced out. And we'll see. We're probably getting a replay of that right now. I'm assuming that Core just went in and there's feathers on you. That's sloppy. That's honestly really, really sloppy. You can't step on feathers like that. That is the #1 thing when you're laning against Xayah. I was assuming it was Core just actually getting up on top of him out of vision, perhaps, and forcing it, but that is...
Oh, now he doesn't have it for this play. So the Ignite's down. Yeon's got the damage. First blood to Team Liquid.
Costly mistake for Dig on that bottom side. This is a lane that you're supposed to have the advantage in, that you're supposed to have that pushing, constantly poking away, chipping away. But if you fall behind, all of a sudden, the potential for all-ins becomes so high. And the fact that Core didn't even have to spend his flash to get that, because he got the flash for free earlier, means that this is an easy gank. When Pyosik hits 6, if Tomo was off his tower at all, he's a dead man.
And it's tough as the rookie player coming in this late in the season, when part of the reason you were brought in was, hey, we want a better laning phase. And now CoreJJ easily set up. Yeon was out of Fog of War. Maybe they thought that there was a reset.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. He wants to get the wave in, but just a little bit of disrespect when you're that far up. It's not like you're on Swifty boots or anything like that. Early on in the game, Varus' move speed is so low, you're not going to dodge a point blank W like that.
Pyosik fighting for the scuttle right now. Has CoreJJ in his back pocket, so scuttle secured. As IgNar will just have to go back to the bot lane. And let's see what the kill means for gold spent for Yeon here. Comes back with a pickaxe, double longsword, and the boots.
Yeah, he's about 300 gold ahead, so, you know, it is about that value of that kill. A little bit less because they are obviously down in farm, but that is to be expected in this sort of a matchup. There's going to be so much on Dignitas now to be accurate with your poke, to constantly whittle away on this Xayah, to try to keep him on low health, because you have to keep TL in a position where they can't threaten it all in. If they're too healthy, They can look for those all-ins. You're always going to be losing those, I think, at this point.
And we see Pyosik on the Dragon as well, unspotted from Dignitas so far, and Santorin's on the opposite side of the map, so this will be a free Dragon picked up for Team Liquid. A solid start for the team, winning bot lane, getting that early Dragon stacked. And they are definitely looking for this win. I mean, again, this is playoffs. This is almost a must-win for them to guarantee that.
Yeah, pretty well, is getting to that point. Things looking really good. They get the kill in the 2v2. That play around mid lane, chunking Jensen out really low, and him not actually playing TP meant that he is now, a good 10 CS behind or so. 12 currently, but I think he has a couple more to farm. So, nice little advantage there for the mid lane. Nice advantage down on bot side. Pyosik is farming and is going to be feeling really happy because when he hits that Sunder, Wukong with that Mythic completed is incredibly strong. Broxah was talking earlier today about how you kind of hit that raid boss level where you're the strongest man on the map. And can look to get aggressive.
IgNar is fishing with these grenades, looking for the ease onto Yeon. Dangerous to do that against the Rakan Xayah, because then Rakan can just go in for free, and you still don't have flash on Tomo. But we just get another reset. Tomo's flash is coming off cooldown. Now we're back to basically a state of evenness in the bot lane. We'll get some more gold spent here from Yeon, but what sums up, low chance of a kill now.
Yeah, Core is just going to try to threaten to hold the wave. So IgNar's job is going to be to actually get this fully pushed in while his AD can base so he doesn't lose tempo. And they will be able to get that in. A couple of these minions will be lost by Yeon, but really not that big of a deal. Just wanted to stay healthy, wanted to get that base off early enough. And we can see Pyosik now starting up another objective on that top side, but this one is warded out. And will Dig look to actually contest? Santorin's in the area. It looks like Asante has the push, so I think they should be able to ward them off.
We also got the reset from Tomo. IgNar's already walking up here. Will be there before CoreJJ, so Dignitas have a window with more members around. Santorin goes in, gets the Herald to reset. Now, do they stick around? Because if you have Heimerdinger here and you have time to set up the turrets, you can make it really hard for your opponent to walk in.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to commit to it or not. Both ADs are still in bot, so it's a 4v4 topside, potentially if they go for it. Jensen looking like he just wants to go for the reset, and IgNar as well. After that full reset on the Herald, I don't think anyone's really committing. You can see, though, Yeon cheating halfway up, so wants to at least threaten that he could be coming. And I like this when you kind of move your AD halfway up the river, then if you want to commit to it, you move him mid lane to clear that wave so he can join if necessary.
You even get the scuttle on the way, so you're not losing any gold for doing this. This is actually a really good timer for Team Liquid here, and Dignitas read it, say, all right, that one's yours.
Yeah, and the push from Varus is going to be relatively slow on bot side, so he might get one plate, but that's probably going to be it if they do get that. And TL definitely going to be getting more than that. I like that Dig, though, is trying to just ward them away, try to slow down their trip down towards bot side so they can get more plates, they can get more back, deny more minions to try to, hopefully for them, equalize the play a little bit.
It is lethality Varus, so those auto attacks are sluggish, but hey, that's one plate. Nicely done, Tomo and the team for setting that up so that he can also try and get this next wave in. About half the damage on the second. So, I mean, yeah, Yeon got that early kill, but because of the CS advantage for Tomo plus that plate, there's a chance that he's actually not too far behind if we look at the gold graph.
Yeah, as far as the gold, it's about that even. So, after this wave is farmed up, he's going to be slightly ahead on the side of Yeon. So it's going to be that tiny advantage, but I think they're just going to be really happy to be in parity. Generally, the way I look at it is when you're playing a losing matchup and you're even, you're winning, right? Sure. And that's kind of one of those things, just expected value that you get from drafts, because it is a bit of push and pull. Anytime you're drafting, you're going to be, sacrificing something elsewhere to be able to get a winning lane on one side. And when we talk about the fact that they are really low on consistent damage, compared to something like the Xayah. The payoff was supposed to be a heavily winning lane, so you're playing from ahead in gold, right? So that it doesn't really matter. They don't have as much consistent DPS, and really they're not in that spot. It doesn't mean that they can't get back to that advantage, as Santorin's going to be sneaking in here, and they can potentially try to bait Pyosik.
Okay, Pyosik and Yeon playing for the play. Core goes for the engage. Snap in onto Tomo. Knocked up, flashes away. Heal as well with Chain of Corruption thrown. So Dignitas absorbed the play, but it costs them a lot.
Yeah, I mean, they were trying to bait that, but honestly, it was way worse for them.
Oh, Pyosik still wants it. Says, Tomo, you walk back up. I'll punish you for that every day.
Oh, that is rough for Dig. Santorin's trying to go in. There's no shot you get anything done here.
Oh, they get teleport out of Haeri. All right, can Yeon continue this? Featherstorm with the recall gets flash out of Santorin.
All right, I mean, at the end of the day, this is a play that they are trying to bait here. They are the ones with knowledge that the Wukong is there, trying to set this up, and it just goes so bad for them. All four summoners off the bot lane. flash off your jungler, you lose a kill here, and you're losing 3 plates, all given over there to Haeri. So it's a huge win for TL on this bot side. Now things getting a little bit out of control, it feels like. You know, Jensen was cheating back down, so they were staying around for a while, trying to potentially threaten something, but couldn't find an angle as Haeri had already pre-TP'd down to match the roam. Just no way in for Dig.
TL doing a really good job of punishing the low mobility of Varus when you don't have the summoner spells. And that's gotten a lot of gold to them as Armut and Summit. Okay, we're still not at 14 minutes, but I'll give you the pass because of the health bar trade there. that was at least exciting.
He used an ultimate.
Yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, let's go.
Top lane matters, guys, I swear. We're important.
What does matter is this dragon here. Team Liquid are starting up the second dragon of the game for themselves, and Dignitas are in no position to contest.
Yeah, not going to be able to really get anything done about that. You know, Ghostblade is completed for Tomo, but the Gale Force being done already on the other side is really scary stuff. Again, Yeon still having those summoners available, and Tomo has just been kind of permanently without sums. So here's that play. This is actually the re-engage where they just kind of get greedy. They don't track the fact that Pyosik doesn't have, hasn't spent anything. Like he still has his ultimate, he still has his flash, and it's just getting right in there on top of those carries. Is able to burst them down, and Dig able to find nothing in response. At the very least, Armut taking some plates on top side, so going to be a slight gold lead for him, and potentially Cassante could try to isolate someone in these team fights, you know, take a strong member out, and make things a little bit more even on both sides.
We had 4 plates taken bot for TL2, so they are heavily in a gold lead now as we see the Mythic completed for Yeon plus the Berserker Greaves. Tomo's still gonna be stacking up that tier. Not even like particularly close to having that at 360 stacks, let alone getting toward the mana muting, so.
Yeah, it's a bit of a slow burn for lethality Varus. You know, not the fastest tier stacker, but it's okay. You know, he can even go Mythic second and go his tier item third, so it's generally not something you have to rush towards. Unlike
stacking that tier about as fast as butter melts in Canada. Not very fast.
Okay.
Been
I'll
cooking
give
on
you,
that one for a
I'll give
while.
you,
Yeah.
well, I mean, you know, you're going for the Jug Duo thing. That's like a freak out of 10.
I
so.
feel like that wasn't as much of a pun as much.
No, it was a terrible joke though.
You know what?
It really
in
brought
the
me
spirit
back.
of freak. In the
Yeah,
spirit of
yeah.
freak. Yeah, we're keeping it going. Lane is pushed bot lane here for Team Liquid. As Jensen is now in the bot lane, they put Tomo, IgNar in the mid lane here. So a little bit of a lane swap.
Yep, gonna be moving around, just trying to keep that farm coming in here for Tomo. Gonna be more difficult for him to stay safe in that side lane as the turret's about to go down. TL though couldn't look to make a play down towards bot side, look to claim the first turret of the game that is still available here. And it is very close to getting knocked down, so if they can keep Vision down around there, have Haeri push it up, have Pyosik shadowing him, should be pretty easy to finish that off and secure that gold for themselves. And the Akali is sitting in a really good position. It's just been quietly farming away, doing this melee versus range matchup, but the preferential base timings got him a bit of a CS advantage, and out to an early Mythic, has the tier 2 boots, already level 11, so Haeri has kill threat on really any carry on the Dignitas side right now.
And one of the best parts, outside of the laning phase, actually we might have to get back to that because Haeri's walking up, Santorin Jensen in the area. Pyosik will not look for any eager plays, but actually he's invading on the blue buff right now. Dignitas will walk up. CoreJJ should see that Santorin's down here, and Pyosik's waiting for him. Goes right in onto Jensen. Flash is available, but the double cyclone. Oh, interrupted, but Santorin picked up as well. Double kill to Haeri.
Nicely done by TL. The positioning there on the clone was so good from Pyosik. Gets the first ult knock up on a Jensen, and then clones ahead to where Jensen is going to flash. Already ahead of him. There's no real way out for Jensen on that one as Haeri commits the flash ulti to finish him off. 2 more kills going the way of TL. In this all-important super week here, they're off to a great start.
Jensen did not realize how much trouble he was in that moment. As we take another look at it, Pyosik is so patient, says, I'm going to go past Santorin onto the real target.
Yeah, exactly. And then watch where he clones. He clones to over here because this is the only way that Jensen can really run. So Jensen, sure, you're going to look to flash. Look how he was keeping it so the ulti was barely hitting him with the left side of his model when Jensen has to flash to the right. And when you position like that, you're flashing from damage to damage. You're still getting hit basically on the other side. So it's just really intelligent positioning from Pyosik. It is a small thing, but these are the things you want to see. You want to see teams consistently doing all these little things right to be able to build up towards just being a more cohesive team.
And now Haeri, he also got there in time to pick up the double kill, accelerated on the Akali. Team Liquid will get the second Herald. As Dragon's up in about a minute's time, easy play going forward. You have the Herald, you can drop it in a lane. Dignitas have to answer that, then you take that next Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely. And Haeri also got solo gold on the first turret on bot side after that kill.
Oh, true.
So he has a lot of gold in pocket, was able to go back, buy up the large rod, buy another ruby crystal here. He's a good 1,300 gold ahead of his lane opponent now, so the majority of the lead is just Haeri. He does have the ultimate available, has no sums, so they want to at least threaten him. Akali, not the safest wave clear. They are going to be able to push him back a little bit, but as soon as Core is down here, Haeri can step up.
And out of the 2 rookies promoted for Team Liquid, Yeon was the one that a lot of us were the more hyped in, as we have a 1v1 in the mid lane here. Yeon versus Tomo, speaking of rookies. But Haeri, so Yeon was in the top 5 conversation for most valuable prospect. Haeri was not. And Haeri stepping up now in this game, in this pivotal moment that Team Liquid need to win this game to continue that playoff dream alive. Haeri has an opportunity here to have a really big performance, a really big game.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what TL is looking for from these guys, right? There is the expectation that will take some time for them to grow. But when you are investing in 2 young players to be your carries, it's not just, these kind of...
They're the damage!
Exactly. It's not your secondary positions. These are such obvious positions when you make any sort of mistake, right? And there has been a lot of criticism levied toward these guys. At times there was the earlier TL game against 100 Thieves earlier on in the split where Haeri kind of just gets caught on a Bjergsen flick without a flash, without any sort of setup there. These little mispositioning moments generally mean you automatically lose the team fight. But it also means that when you are playing it out well, you're going to get more credit as well. You're going to be able to be in that position to potentially carry a game.
It's more impressive when you're able to step up as a rookie and put on the carry pants. Armut gets the top turret here, so it's a 1.8 thousand gold lead for Team Liquid as they also grab the 3rd Dragon. Team Liquid in a very comfortable position in this game, and we see maybe Dignitas looking for something. Nah, it's just a tank. You're not going to kill that Sejuani.
Yeah, there's no real way for him to go for it. With IgNar up there, it doesn't really have much in the way of damage. Just have the rallies completed, but this is looking really grim for Dignitas. The gold lead is only 2K, but it is soul point already, and it's so difficult to actually fight in the Dragon area just because of the nature of their composition. It's so many different angles that they're going to have to mark, and when they have losing lanes, they don't actually have any deep vision. You look on the map, this is
a lot of blue wards.
That's the only ward they have in the area. This is all TL. They have got to be able to get forward and cover all these paths, 4 different angles of flank, different angles from engage, because if the Varus or Jensen here get jumped on, they're going to lose the fight pretty much.
Speaking of, Jensen does not realize he's in trouble. Haeri with the combo and a solo kill on a Jensen.
Nicely done, just knocking him down easily, and now threatening to dive.
He gets on the Tomo, chain of corruption. Do you take it? Sure can backflip. Nah, not feeling it today, but CoreJJ is. Flashing gauge starts the fight, and Team Liquid commit underneath the turrets. Pyosik pretty deep in there, and Santorin will punish him. Look good to start. We'll trade at least IgNar for the jungler.
Yeah, Pyosik went deep, and then Santorin kicked him even deeper there. They at least get one back, but it's a couple kills, and it's a couple turrets, both going the way here of TL, so the gold lead will just extend. We're over 3,500 now at this point, 3 minutes before that next Dragon here. And it's going to be multiple item completions ahead, I think, on the TL side. When you're just looking at the gold, it's nearly 2,000 in the lead for Haeri. He's going to have Shadow Flame pretty much for sure. I wouldn't be surprised to see Navori done as well for Yeon. And I don't think we're going to get to that second major item for a lot of these guys, unless they're going for quick and easy completions. Like if Void Staff, it's a much cheaper item, that could potentially be completed.
Sure.
But it's going to be really tough, I think, for Dignitas. They're going to be so far down in power at this fight that they absolutely must win to have a chance in the game.
But they're not on the map currently. Team Liquid, they have all the gold, especially on Haeri, but when they're resetting, Dignitas have a window right now to walk up, get some vision down. I'm happy that they're doing this currently because they weren't able to do that around the last Dragon. Right now, they have a little more vision around this Baron, but they don't actually drop that many wards down, so Team Liquid can actually just walk in and clear this out very easily. All they got was a scuttle.
Yeah, they get a little bit. And Tomo looking for a pick there on Core. I don't know that he would have had enough damage to actually kill him, but did spend the ulti, was sidestepped by Core. And Jensen here just getting caught in transition. They don't really have much defensive vision. You show up there, you kind of know you're screwed at this point. Maybe you could have thrown down the E and delayed it a bit, but there's no shot. As soon as the E hits you from Akali, you basically know it's just like part 2 accepting your death.
I usually close my eyes and just hope for the best at that
Take a
point.
deep breath,
I don't want to see what happens next.
But we can see the engage here, the follow-up there, Core flashing in. And there is Pyosik going very deep, but then a nice kick from Santorin secures that kill, keeps Tomo safe as well. TL, though, marching around the map, just knocking down tower after tower after tower. And there is the Navori done for Yeon. You can see second item done as well for Summit. And the winner's approach is going to upgrade very likely before this dragon as well. He only needs a couple more stacks.
And shout out to CoreJJ, 2,600 assists in his LCS career. That is incredible, considering how, you know, he hasn't even been here like that long.
Well, he did have his Dignitas era as an ADC as well.
Oh, I wonder how many assists that
That's what I'm actually curious. It's probably massively
above or
north of
below
its support.
5%, as maybe Summit could get caught here. Flashes are going to
Hold it back.
over the wall, and All Out says, you're not going anywhere. Santorin gets the kill credit.
That was a silly death from Summit. No real reason for that. Luckily for them, he will be up in time for the dragon. He'll be a little bit late to get there, but should still be okay. Yeon, knowing that there could be someone in this area, playing it safe, and is going to be able to be okay for now.
Do they want more, though?
Oh, they're going to TP. They're going to fight.
Yeah, with Summit off the map, this is Dignitas' opportunity. Santorin playing around the engage of Team Liquid, and maybe they can get onto Pyosik, knocking Haeri back, but Haeri's still where he needs to be here. Dignitas cannot lock down Pyosik, so Team Liquid get away.
Yeah, nice sidesteps there from Pyosik, and just using that Cyclone, the bonus move speed, as well as that knock-up to kind of stay safe there. So they do have to trade out some important ultimates. That means there's no Wukong ult for this dragon. I do still think they have enough to fight it, because there are going to be some missing things on the other side as well. There's going to be no all-out for Armut. No ulti as well for Jensen to kind of gain that positioning, and Summit has respawned and is marching out on the map here. So I think TL are going to try to look for this for sure. You can see Haeri on that map moving out, can look for a flank angle from here. They can kind of look for this multi-prong approach that I've been talking about throughout this game.
But Dignitas are here first in the river. Look at IgNar's turret line. Rylai is completed. This is where Heimerdinger can put in a lot of work. Hard for Team Liquid to approach from that flank, so keep your eyes on Haeri. What can he do on the flank without the turrets?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, Dig just can't walk up to the dragon, because if they walk up to the dragon, they expose themselves to the flank. So that's why they're pulling back here. But then you see positioning.
They don't see Haeri. Okay, he backflipped over the wall. Where is he now? Did he get into the brush? Santorin's gonna walk up. Oh, he's still not spotted. Oh, they got him! And Haeri almost picked off into the stasis, but with IgNar there, flashes away. Shuriken back, Haeri's out! Santorin's locked down, but he gets away just in time. Glacial Fissure, prison onto Jensen. As the dragon now focused down from Team Liquid. The fight was dicey, but Dignitas might have bought enough space here.
Haeri can TP back in, though. The fight is not over yet, and Pyosik now has his ulti here again. The dragon's not low.
Haeri does not have the perfect execution or the flash, but it's still another body on the board, and Dignitas do not have a lot of health bars to work with here. Armut in particular has the all-out. Santorin's in, looking for the 50-50, but has to jump right on out. So that's Dragon Soul to Team Liquid.
TL pull it off at the end of the day. This one was a very back and forth fight here, pretty dicey. As Haeri was spotted over the wall, caught out by Santorin, almost burst down. And that did make things scary, but it's a hero ultimate from Core that looked like it interrupted a lot of the damage that was coming through from Santorin, and they're just gonna go straight to the Baron here. Santorin's running out on the map, but they have no vision. How quickly is it going down? It shouldn't be dead before he gets there, but it's gonna be close.
It's gonna be very close. Santorin has the opportunity. You didn't get the dragon. Can you get the Baron? They got the control ward over. He's into the pit. He's stunned. Doesn't steal it. Baron secured by Team Liquid and Pyosik, but the all-out from Armut will grab the jungler. It is 2 kills for the Baron.
Yeah, 2 kills for the Baron there. Dig not able to come away with it. Actually, pretty clever stuff. CoreJJ got hit by the Q there, and he just W'd out of the pit, so he couldn't actually use the Q to get into the pit there. You know, forcing Santorin to find another way in, but he does get in the pit, tries to challenge for that Baron, not able to get it. Pyosik, I believe, the one who actually does secure it, so we can watch this one more time. Yeah, just watch Core. He actually blocks the Q, and then W's out of the pit, saying, no, you don't have a way in. So, you know, having to blast cone straight in. It's at 1900, 1817. Let's see, who smites first?
I think.
Oh, that was actually.
Ooh.
I don't actually know if the smite was even off cooldown from Wukong, was it?
I'm not sure.
So Spectator Client bugs out a lot, I'm just gonna be honest on the replays, so I'm not actually sure whose was used first there. Santorin definitely used it, but it looked like it might have just been, you know, one of the smites might have been used on the enemy champion. I couldn't quite see, to be honest with you. Either way, narrowly secured there by TL, but they have Soul, they have Baron on 3 members, and they are looking in prime position to close this one out. 3rd items now quickly approaching for a lot of their carries.
And a very important game as well here. Is it 2 on the nuts to take bodied by Haeri? I love that. Absolutely love that. As this match keeps Team Liquid in the playoff conversation. They're still relying on other teams to lose games. Not the best spot as you're chasing for those final positions in the top 6, but this is a big win because now they can rest saying, all right, we go into tomorrow feeling like we're still in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, whether you make it to the playoffs or not, you want to end that season on a high note. You want to do everything you can, building towards summer. And hopefully, you know, getting a 3-0 this weekend would put them in a really good spot. So they are still in control of that much, at least. They could try to get that 9-9 record, which almost always has made it to LCS playoffs.
Very rare.
I think once, maybe twice in history, a 9-9 team has actually not made it to playoffs in the LCS with this 16 format. So they can still get to that.
Dignitas are holding the base for now. Team Liquid got the 2 waves to crash at almost the same time, but not quite. So that means Dignitas can clear the top wave, go back, clear the mid wave, now go back, clear the top wave. I didn't see how the lanes were set up, or if Team Liquid could have done that a little bit better, because often you want those to land at the same time. You force your opponent to choose one or the other.
Well, part of the problem is they didn't even have a Baron buff right there in that top side. They actually had Pyosik and Summit up there with 2 members who died. So they had their 3 Baron buffs, you know, either in the middle or down towards mid lane. They are moving around now. Going to be just, I think, willing to take that tier 2 bot as potentially a consolation prize. You can see Haeri pushing it up, realizing they're not going to be able to crack the base. Just trying to get as much gold as possible. And when this Baron buff is about to start expiring, you can see that TL is moving back into the enemy jungle, just taking away all these camps. You can see Pyosik on one side and Yeon on the other. We're just farming up all of the camps. And that is one of the real advantages of that Baron buff, is when you push forward, you move up the vision line, all of a sudden you're farming 4 quadrants of the jungle and your lead is just expanding.
You're just suffocating your opponent. They got no room to breathe. And no gold to absorb except for the waves that are crashing into their turrets. Team Liquid now back, reset, with all of their gold spent. 3 items on the 2 carries completed as Lord Doms comes through with the Void Staff from Haeri. So, Yeon and Haeri, they're feeling good right now. They're feeling like one more fight and this game could be over.
Yeah, absolutely. And frontline is looking pretty good here at 4TL as well. Core has been quietly having a very good game, has had really good engages here.
Oh, yeah.
As expected on the Rakan, been able to punish pretty heavily on this Dignitas bot lane that wanted to push aggressively, that wanted to create a 2v2 advantage, that was supposed to play from ahead, but it just never came to fruition for Dig. They've kind of been behind from the word go, not able to contest for these dragons, and that has really been the main pressure point, and will continue to be as Elder's going to spawn here in a minute. TL haven't cracked the base, so they're clearly setting up camp in this bot side, trying to control all of that vision. You can see it's just TL's world down here, and there's nothing out past that halfway point on the map for Dig.
Dignitas walk up a little bit. That's a lot of damage on Armut. No, he did not all out there. That was just have Telfar gone in a second. Team Liquid doing a lot of burst there as Dignitas are trying to hold on to every turret they can, but with Elder spawning in 45 seconds, that's going to be a clear win condition for TL. You get this turret, the tier 2, now Dignitas has to walk into you. Heimerdinger, not known for being very good at that.
Yeah, it's really tough, right? And as we've seen, not even Armut can clear these brushes very safely, right? Like, he can get chunked down very, very quickly if he gets too far forward. You know, you're on 2.5 items, you're relatively tanky, but the carries are on 3 over on the other side. So Dig is just gonna have to try to barrel in here. You've gotta flip the game on Elder. Gotta see if you can make something happen, but the flank is being set up by Pyosik, and Haeri is coming over too.
CoreJJ's all the way up here, teleport in, and Jensen did not expect that angle. Tomo engaged on. Now they're looking at the front line, but they already took down IgNar. Pyosik's out of the back line. Team Liquid, Haeri is doing it. Double kill to the Akali, and this should be the game-ending fight. They're teleporting into the base. Summit wants to end it now. Team Liquid will chase down Armut and Jensen to prevent them from backing and stopping this push. There's not a lot of hope left for Dignitas, and Team Liquid want to keep themselves in the playoff conversation. Armut focused down, Jensen often the carry for the team. Weaver's Wall to safety. Maybe turns out to CoreJJ. All right, trades one back. It's another. Armut trades another as Pyosik comes out of the stasis in onto Jensen. The Nexus is falling though. Even if Jensen gets this, which he doesn't, Team Liquid making the playoff race interesting. Double kill to Pyosik as they will take down Dignitas.
I don't know if they can.
Oh, wait a
Yeon
minute.
is low.
Yeon has to do the Feather Storm flashes. Yeon got it. Team Liquid win.
Oh man, got dicey for a second there. TL were chasing for kills for so long. All the minion wave died, but Yeon able to flash in, finish it off. TL take a massive win for themselves here. You know, starting the week down 1 game here behind the pack.
Yep.
Challenging for those final playoff spots here. They're hunting for 5th, they're hunting for 6th. There's 4 teams realistically that have a shot at it.
Yep.
You know, they are in there, 100 Thieves is in there, TSM and CLG. Those are the 4 teams, only 2 spots remain. So TL has to do everything in their power to give themselves the best possible position here. If they can clean up and go 3-0 in this weekend, they're going to have a pretty decent shot at it.
You can also throw Golden Guardians into that convo as well, since they lost their game earlier today. So Team Liquid, they are still relying on other teams to drop. But take your bow, because that was a good performance from the team, keeping them in that conversation. If they lose here, it's pretty much over. And it is against Dignitas, last place team. We, in a way, expected this, but Team Liquid had still been looking inconsistent, so we never knew which version of Team Liquid we were going to get.
Absolutely, and I think that Dignitas as well has been looking more competitive, you know, since the addition of Tomo. They have been looking a little bit better, you know, finding their stride in some of these games. Did even, you know, have a pretty big win recently against CLG, I want to say, you know, being able to take down them.
It did,
so.
Yeah, that one hurt. Yeah. That one hurt as unbiased CLG fan, of course. I never show it on broadcast.
Yeah, well, he didn't pass their game.
I didn't
that would be match fixing.
Yeah,
so
exactly. That's why production put me on this one.
Exactly.
They're like, nah, we can't give him CLG.
Yeah, but you know, Dignitas has been stepping it up a little bit. TL though can definitely be happy, breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief. You know, while these are expected wins, they are clearly not guaranteed wins, as we just saw earlier today. Obviously, EG losing their win against another team down at the bottom of the table. But it was a good one for TL and a bit of a different look, right? You know, having Summit kind of just on an island, playing tank top, and it's Rakan for CoreJJ, you know, back in his tried and true engaged champs, and I think he really made it work for him.
And now there's only 2 teams grayed out at the bottom of the standings. Immortals and Dignitas still out of the race for playoffs. Shout out to Immortals for picking up the win and making it still interesting, because Evil Geniuses are not locking in necessarily a top 4 here even. If they're not feeling well, if they're still playing remote for the Super Week, this could make that race to top 4 very interesting.
Yeah, that would get rough. I mean, if EG goes 0-3 and loses their top 4 spot, that would be really, really brutal. But they do just need 1 win to guarantee it. So we'll see if they can lock it in. But it's been a lot of fun casting here with you today. I think you did a great job, Kangas.
Thank you for having me. Awesome time for my first ever LCS cast. Happy I got to have the one and only literal world champion. I'm standing next to a literal world champion.
True.
But right now we're joining Broxah, who's standing next to CoreJJ for our Verizon post-game interview.
Well, we haven't been standing next to each other for a little while. This is going to be interesting. But first of all, congrats on the win.
Thank you. Yeah, it's great. It's glad that we won versus Dignitas so that we have a chance to make a playoff now.
So, I know in the past, when we were in stressful moments, you were always calm and confident. How has this week felt for you? Do you still feel the same way, or have you gotten a little nervous for once?
Yes, I was like usually in the position, getting in the pressure, you know, better standing than like making a playoff. But I think our skill level, I don't believe that our skill level is like at 7th place, 8th place level. So that gives me confidence so that I can be more calm in this case.
That makes sense. Now, I was wondering, what is the main thing you guys have been working on like this week? I know you haven't had that many days of scrims, but what is the one thing that you wanted to fix to try to make the comeback?
So basically, we lost many games. So every week we had some like goal. So one week we practiced on our team fight, our setup, our laning page, like mid game, late game, and then now we are at the last week. So we are focusing on let's do everything what we can do, like using unleash every limit that we made, and then yeah.
So I remember when Tactical joined our team back in 2020, you were really excited to play with a rookie, and you've always been really good at guiding newer players. Now, obviously, you're working with 2 rookies in Haeri and Yeon again. What do you think your relationship with the 2 of them have been like, the split?
I think they're both really good students. So when they learn something, they don't forget easily, and then they are willing to listen to any good plays. So I'm trying to tell them like everything I know in the past, my experience, and I think I believe our spring split is not gonna be over this week, but even though it is, they will be really great in summer split.
I'm on the same page. I also believe in you guys. Not biased, of course. but do you have any final message you want to give to the fans that are a little nervous about the future? You know, I know, like you said, it's a long split. We have a good team here on Team Liquid, but you know, what do you have to say to the ones out there who could use a little push to fully believe?
Where we are always, as a team, we are always saying that if we make playoffs, we're gonna win LCS. If we go to the playoff, we're gonna win LCS. I think we still have a lot of potential in our team that people might not know because we didn't show it yet. But I really want to show you guys that what is our full potential.
Well, great to hear, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time before we see it. Maybe in Spring Split. Hopefully some exciting days coming up. But for now, I'm going to throw it back to the lounge.
Thank you, Broxah. Welcome back to the LCS Lounge. Apparently, today helped pretty much everyone who's in the mass of teams still trying to qualify. So
It can't have helped everyone. I don't think TSM is very happy they lost.
this is true.
Golden
TSM.
Guardians probably still fine for playoffs, but yeah.
A little bit at least.
Yeah.
It was the most entertaining results for the future. Like the next 2 days of games have more implications because of what happened today.
Yeah.
Nice.
Keeps
That's a
things
thumbs up.
interesting.
Yeah. For context, Team Liquid is 0-2 versus 100 Thieves and TSM. And so if they end up tied with either of those teams or both of them, they are automatically like the loser of any 2 or 3-way tie with them, which is why CLG beating Golden Guardians was actually huge to potentially get a tiebreaker for 6 or something like that, which gives Team Liquid an in if there's a 3-way tie.
Yeah, it also leaves the possibility now of someone not only clinching playoffs, but sneaking into top 4. Because if Golden Guardians takes care of business against CLG, they move to 10. Hell, maybe they're even having a chance of going to 3 because Evil Geniuses is slumping with playing remote.
Yeah.
So, really an interesting day. A lot of things are still in play.
And
Golden
something
Guardians can still pass EG.
They can still pass EG. And something that I've always reminded of is like the playoffs do not care about the regular season. Like recency does matter. So if Team Liquid sneaks into playoffs and they are in good form, then you have to treat them respectfully. Like that could be an actual like, oh God, dark horse. My bad. It's
Dark horse.
I walked myself into a corner.
I mean, I agree that they would be a potentially scary team to bump into in the losers bracket. I will also say, you're talking about Golden Guardians catching 100 Thieves. Golden Guardians can still go 0-3. It's pretty unlikely.
They could miss playoffs.
I think they have Dignitas tomorrow or something. They have FlyQuest tomorrow.
They have Dignitas on the final day.
The final day is against them.
Yeah, but I mean, who knows? This is tomorrow's schedule, I guess.
Here we go, 100 Thieves versus EG right off the bat. That's a massive game for 100 Thieves. And we have Bjergsen and Closer on. They seem so confident, actually.
They're cruising.
TSM versus Dignitas. CLG versus TL. Woo! That is a big one
baby.
For playoff implications. C9 versus Immortals Progressive, and then rounding it off with FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians, which is another interesting one.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious one is CLG versus Team Liquid Honda, especially with the form that Team Liquid Honda is currently in. The only other one that I'm interested in is Evil Geniuses versus 100 Thieves, because yes, of the point that we had made prior, but also someday an FBI playing against their former team is always what I will care about when it comes to those two. So that will be a good quality match.
I think FlyQuest versus Golden Guardians.
I was about to say, Game 5 is a secret banger right there.
Because like everyone seems, I guess because of the C9 hype train and because of how well C9 have been performing, everyone is suddenly like, oh man, you know, FlyQuest, they aren't as good as they initially started. They're faltering. And then Golden Guardians having lost today, they're pretty much, they win and they're in. So if they can knock off FlyQuest, they'll make it into playoffs.
Plus, Blabber MVP candidacy match.
We will talk more about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
You never know. Okay.
He's already setting the stage, and we will be back with a Fairy Court theme day tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and we will hopefully see you there.
You got fairies.
We got Blabber, we got Fudge, we got Prince. Who else we
10
got?
minutes ago, I talked with Prince, and he said he watched my stream, what I said about power ranking of Versus, and he said he's so angry, so he will focus today a lot.
As M&S steps forward, looking for Vikla, but Spica's ready to gank. He lands the W2. He chases him through the flash there with a stun. Vikla wants to go in, but Blabber's ready to cover its first blood. Oh, Blabber immediately tanking the damage from Sejuani, but turning it around, and they kill off Ayla first. Berserker's keeping Prince away, and Spica is going to be chopped to pieces. M&S grabs the kill. Holy moly, it is nothing left for FlyQuest.
We're back to live. It's on the Dragon.
Right back to the Drake we go, and River's killed before they can do anything else about it. Golden Guardians have lost their jungler. The Drake hasn't been taken out yet. It's a double kill back over to Luger, and now Stixay drops. Ready for the engage here. Decimating smash onto Palafox, but Contracts is the target. Death Sentence pulls him back underneath the turret, but they still don't have the damage to kill him. Stixay's gonna grab it now, and he's traded for River. 1 for 2 as Dokla dies. Stixay's gonna be taken out next. It'll be a 2 for 2. CLG, we said they had to win it, and they won it. They'll take down Golden Guardian.
One thing I don't understand, how come our mid lane never stacks 4 waves and has bot lane come in to dive?
I just stopped asking because the call is like, no, I can't come, man.
They aren't going to grab any kills just yet. They're still trying to stick around and contest the red, but it's Busio into the stopwatch trying to stay alive. Now, double just headshots Jive. 100 Thieves finally might have found a good fight. Oh, the sweeper over the wall looking for closer, but TSM just walks into a meat grinder. Doublelift is dominating, and Wild Turtle has been found out on the flank. Tenacity and Closer going up against Turtle, and they'll bring him down.
As Evil Geniuses are walking up, Revenge trying to buffer the CC. Fleshy goes in, Balulu with the 4! Jam taunt! Blows up Evil Geniuses, and Immortals get a double kill for Tactical, winning this fight easily.
Okay, just end it.
No, now we with them.
No, we with them. It's our turn to with them, guys. Let's go.
See that Santorin's down here, and Pyosik's waiting for him. Goes right in onto Jensen. Flash is available with the double cyclone. Oh, interrupted, but Santorin picked up as well. Double kill to Haeri.
And Haeri's coming over too.
CoreJJ's all the way up here, teleport in, and Jensen did not expect that angle. Tomo engaged shot. Now they're looking at the front line, but they already took down IgNar. Pyosik's out of the back.